talk about my boyfriend, fiance, husband, Ted. 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 Ted, how I love you. You've brought me to places I could have never, ever imagined. Good and bad. Yeah, good and bad. Because, well, as far as Kibitz and Bitz, you, yes, kind of inspired me. But, well, along with that, there was, well, the police. Anybody want to know why I'm scared of the police? Well, I'll tell you. Ted called them 8 times. Yeah, 8 times. And the first time I was like, what? Dude, don't call them like police. I mean, just don't. Because I'm like just a street girl, but a geriatric nurse, but educated and speak 3 languages. But no, not to call the police. Don't trust. Well, you can trust some of them, but not all of them. So he calls the police. What happens? Well, I'm on opiates, right? That brings in the opiates. So right away, I'm not brought to somewhere to get the opiates because I misplaced them because of my, ADD. But no, I'm brought to a psychiatric ward, tied up, and this is like 2 years ago, and not by the police. Yeah, I'm brought there to a psychiatric ward. And then I'm told that, well, I don't even remember what I was told. I just remember being tied up and like the toilet being taken away, and I had to, go to the bathroom with my eggs. That was really nice. That was cool. And so he saunters in and collects me after he'd been, up with his, date of choice, apologizing. And so I'm like, okay, but just don't call the police, So a month goes by and like the S word, the suicidal word, even though I have never in my life had suicidal idealizations or any paranoia whatsoever, ever. But I have been off and on after postpartum depression, followed by some psychiatrists. I have been put on, yes, after postpartum, psychiatric medications. But never suicidal, never paranoid at all. So, going back to Ted. So Ted calls them again. And the third time, I don't know why they're there. I can't even remember. All I remember is hearing from the next door, and she has marijuana in her upper right-hand drawer. Upper right-hand, what? Drawer? Oh, what? What? No, officers, everything's fine. I mean, they didn't have a search warrant. Thank goodness, so I think they just absconded with it. Anyway, it's not my dime that night, so could you buy me some more? Anyways, I haven't even had any marijuana. I've been tested, urine tested. That's what happens when you're opiate tolerant and you were supposed to be on the alert system. So, I'm going to talk about the alert system. Do I have 6 more minutes? It's supposed to be a 10-minute talk, but this is like a special occasion. This is dedicated to Ted C. William Edward Ted C. Oh, now I went too far with all those names. Oh my goodness. Google, wherefore out my Google and YouTube. Vio too. That's pretty cool. Twitter and Facebook. Well, I don't have any of those. Did I tell you? I moved in with Ted, and lo and behold, I lost my Facebook. I never had a Twitter. And Instagram, apparently I had, but didn't have. Anyways, I only had one little app. And it was Facebook. And I had a few friends on it. Now I see my picture and it's Facebook, but I have no access to it at all. I mean, he's even helped me try because he wanted to get a message out to a few friends. Impossible to get my Facebook. So anyways, my old number was 438-881-3109. It'll be out of commission, but I still get text messages if anybody knows how that happens. Well, he gets text messages on my number, and I love that number, and I want it back. I would love to know how to get it back. So anyways, back to Ted. Romeo, wherefore out there? Ted, wherefore art thou? And the alert system, of course. So I get put on the alert system somewhere along the line, or not done. It's been 10 years since I haven't done any, see. And that to me, that drug stole my soul. I tried to anyways, and I still have a soul. Thank God I still have a soul. I don't know about others around me who do it, and it's a very unfortunate addiction. And that brings me to being on the opiates. You know, I didn't have the brain receptors at all to be on opiates. It never even did anything to me. That's the whole thing. I mean, at least if I would go through all the degradation and everything I've been through to have something like an addiction, but it's just a tolerance. And that's what all this is about. It's being on an alert system for having a tolerance, an opiate tolerance. I mean, I never even went on the nod, for crying out loud. The nod is when you sort of go to sleep. Never even got that luxury. I'm like hyper. Look at me. It's late, it's at night, and I'm like hyper all the time. Hence the ADD medication, which I desperately need. Maybe I should take some now, do you think? Anyways, too late. I'm in your face. Anyways, Kibitz and Bitz, talking to you about the alert system and Ted. Ted, my boyfriend. Ted, my fiance. And Ted, the husband. The husband. The employer. Oh, I work for Ted, too. I work for Ted. Yes, he's an ophthalmologist, and I do work for him. So, guys, enough with the eye jokes, okay? I get it. The eye doctor, I get it. Glasses, I get it, okay? I'm not trying to be obnoxious. I'm just trying to appeal to anybody just saying, back off. No, just joking. Anyways, I love Ted with all my heart, and I do think he is the best doctor. And I don't know about the rest of the world, but I do know in Montreal. He did my cataract surgery, and he saved my daughter's eyes. So, her eye. She was going to just have an eyeball. You know, just one eyeball, because she would have lost the other one. Instead, she ended up being lucky enough to be referred by him to another wonderful doctor who actually, she had a corneal implant, is it? Yeah, an implant. And it saved, well, somebody had to die, God rest her soul, and they were around her age, so I just couldn't even imagine what that mother went through. Anyways, I was happy that she got hers. And I kind of segue that to, like, we'll do anything for our family and kind of forsake anybody around us for love, and, you know, back to the love drug. And love has many different forms. It could be in love, that you'll do anything, or love of the family. But you do almost anything, and you do not think about others around you when it comes to love and loving your family and caring for your family. So, to me, there are no real criminals, and there shouldn't really be any police, because it's all relative. It's all relative. Just like the alert system, which really apparently doesn't exist. I was put on it 10 years ago, and I've been suffering ever since. I've been hospitalized, in my opinion, because of the alert. I have been put in and dragged around and abused, for lack of a better word, at a prison that should have been closed by the police. Yeah, by the police. But they were only fed information, and they had come here 8 times, so I want to be fair to them. I don't have any hatred to the police. I just have feared them a lot, and feared that type of power over me. And since I was out, and that happened to me, and I went to a place called, prison, which I thought was only for men. There were women going, shh, shh, while they kind of watched me being abused. I was not, I wasn't even fingerprinted or told I was under arrest. But nobody, I think, knew better. I'm not blaming anybody again. But it was a traumatizing experience for me. And I think Ted has learned that the police cannot always have certain police, like we're all human, 10% of everybody, will not always have the best interests. And it's best not to call them or go to them. And in my case, it was best not to, after being in prison for 3 days. It was kind of a bit rough. It was a bit rough. And I was promised to see a nurse and get my medication, and even blood thinners. I'm on blood thinners. I didn't even get those. So it was very, very traumatizing. But it didn't stop there, because when I was forsaken at 2060 West Broadway, they continued. I was arrested twice and handcuffed twice for